Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're doing very, very well. Now, as promised, we're going to explore a little bit more of the Batman. Yes, Matt Reeves' fantastic new movie, big screen incarnation of the Caped Crusader. Personified now by Robert Pattinson. And you all know I love this movie. Incredibly. I've now seen it twice at the flicks. None of your little streaming stuff. I've gone and watched it twice at the flicks. First time round with my son and daughter. Second time round with just my daughter. And we have loved it even more second time round. It's a long film. It's a slow moving film in many aspects. But it's in those nuanced moments, those noirish detective moments, and the character beats and the little interactions and the slow measured approach where I think it works. I'll discuss more about all of that side of things when I do the big highfalutin, totally warts and all, everything out there on a platter, big spoiler review, which is not this video right now. Although there will be spoilers in this video. No. In this video, I want to discuss one of the greatest elements of the movie, which is the score. Michael Giacchino's score for this movie is a masterpiece, a masterwork. I've always loved Giacchino. I've loved his action scores, his flamboyance, his colour, his complete and utter, almost John Williams style, bringing every element of the orchestra. But I've got my motifs, I've got my themes, and I've got colour, and I'll go high and I'll go low, and I'll just get everyone behind this, and it's all buoyant. Yeah, and that's not what he does with this score. You look at his scores for, say, Jurassic World, John Carter, The Incredibles, which is pure John Barry. The Incredibles is pure John Barry, James Bond, and it works a treat. Speed Racer, the amount of exhilaration and excitement he puts into some of these scores is beyond belief, and I've always loved and cherished his music. But I think with this, he's reached an entirely new level, and it strikes me now that he's reached this level now. Although some are going to go, oh, but it's too simplistic. It's not simplistic at all. It's deceptive, which is clever. We'll discuss. But now after this, he has staked his claim on I want to be a director. I want to direct Werewolf by Night, Marvel's lycanthropic anti-hero, Werewolf by Night. He wants to direct that. Whether he'd score it as well, who knows? John Carpenter could score films and direct them and write them and produce them. So I pretty much think that Giacchino could do the same thing. And I'd love that to be the case. But listen, there is Batman's new main 4-note motif, his theme: power, domination, earnest, crusade. It's fantastic, but there's a lot more to it than that. There's a hell of a lot more to this score than just that. Although that theme, that motif permeates almost every track within the score, there's so much more, folks. So what I'm going to do, because the greatest benefit now of having the score from Watertower, we've got the big Batman suite, we've got the big Riddler suite, we've got the Catwoman suite, and then we have the Sonata at the end, Sonata in Darkness, which is a huge... It brings everything together, but it plays it as a sonata. You've also got to remember another thing as well. This film has Schubert's awesome Ave Maria, plays a huge part in the story and the soundscape of this movie. It plays over Thomas Wayne's legacy renewal. It plays over themes of the orphanage, the haunted, desecrated hellhole, the orphanage that the Riddler grew up in, which is part of why his revenge plot is all there, to uncover the corruption of Gotham City and all its high officials, where once Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne who are not quite as squeaky clean as we're led to believe. Although Martha had a few mental issues, family issues, because the founding families of Gotham are the Waynes and the Arkhams. Arkham Asylum. Yes, of course. And Martha is from the Arkhams. And there's a bit of a twisted mentality there. So the Riddler knows this because some unscrupulous reporter, journalist, twat, uncovered it when Thomas Wayne was running for mayor. When Bruce Wayne was only a little kid. And anyway, we're leaping ahead of stuff here because this stuff should be saved for the big proper review. But basically, he's about to, incriminate the Waynes on their big renewal campaign, which is going to rejuvenate Gotham, and it's going to, the orphans will be saved, and the homeless will be rehomed. Everything's going to be great and sparkly and wonderful. Doesn't happen, but he does form a huge fund, the Gotham, the Thomas Wayne legacy of renewal. That's the big thing, renewal of Gotham. And it doesn't happen because they get murdered. Yeah, oh, convenient, eh? We'll go, in the big spoiler review, I'll go into all the details about that. But so they're took out, but this fund exists, so all the other lowlifes zoom in there to try and take their piece of it and try and take over Gotham. And the Riddler, spoilers folks, the Riddler was an orphan himself. And the promise is made by Thomas Wayne to save them from the hellhole of that freezing cold, infants dying all the time orphanage never came to fruition. So he harbours a huge rage against the high elite because none of them are squeaky clean. They're all corrupt. DA's office, Gotham Police Department, the mayor, everybody is corrupt, and he vows to take them all down and expose the true face of Gotham. It's always one of the running things about any Batman story. Gotham is a seething cesspit of inhumanity. Everyone is running from Ukraine right now. Right now, as I do this video, Russia is on the 14th, 15th day of the invasion, and it ain't going well. It ain't going well for the Russian invaders, but it's going exceptionally bad for the Ukrainians who live there, and they're trying a mass exodus out of there. Now, I bring that in because if you were living in Gotham, well, you wouldn't be living there. You'd have left. It's a hellhole. It is just rife with crime and drugs, drops, and all this. This is the new drug thing, the drops, the drop heads. And gangs are prevalent everywhere, and systemized criminal families are rife. Not a great place to be. You'd have fucked out a long time ago. But anyway, let's go on to the music. Excuse me. Right, now, I have played in previous videos the Batman theme. You just heard it there. Doom, 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 doom. Now, the clever thing about that is, as simplistic as it appears to be, if Giacchino had left it running for just several iterations less, it would be comical. He knows just how far to take it and to build it, to make it emphatic. It goes beyond being, oh God, is this just a joke? Is this a pantomime? It goes way beyond it and becomes truly, truly emphatic. That's not specifically what I want to bring to your attention right now. What I want to bring to your attention is we'll come back onto that 4-note theme, because the 4-note motif is very important. But I want to go into, now this is unbelievable. Now, I'm on record and on video as saying that one of my favourite themes from any of the Batman is The Dark Knight, from The Dark Knight. by Hans Zimmer. Admittedly, it makes me very emotional. It brings me to tears, because it's so plaintively emotive and searingly, tragic, even with a haunting quality of heroism and glory, and it will build into the to Batman's theme. Well, listen to this. Now, you hear this a few times in the movie, and this is if the doom 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 is Batman as Batman striding into combat and taking out all sorts of lowlifes and crims, and that's the heroic, just arch, almost fucking Spartan. I'm going in. That's great, but Batman's more than that. Batman is a tragic, flawed character, haunted by the death of his parents, haunted by the fact that his life is not a life anymore. He has pledged his life, his existence, to ridding crime from Gotham. A crusade in earnest, because he'd never win. And we'll come on to this. So he meets Selina Kyle, played by Zoe Kravitz, who is Catwoman. And the two of them form a bond. I mean, you know all this. It's in the comic books, it's in the other movies, it's there. It's always been there. In some versions, the two of them do get married. And of course, in The Dark Knight Rises, Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle do go off into the wild Parisian sunset, or rather, the Cafe Republic sort of thing, and have a great time. But in some of the comic books, they do get married. It's just bizarre. But in most of the best ones, they are forever enamored with each other. They love each other. They might not even know who each other really are in certain comic versions, but they love each other, and they keep meeting, they keep fighting together, but they'll never be together. And it's that forever tortured relationship which we love, and you get that in this. The two of them do not consummate any relationship, but they definitely have colossal and possibly undying feelings for each other once they've met. Now, I'm going to play for you a track, and Giacchino's playful cue titles, track titles, which are always pun on words, or they're always a clever little sort of, just a little play on words. This one it's called All's Well That Ends Farewell. Now, this sequence is the end of the film. So, I did say spoilers ahead, folks. This is the end of the film. Everything's been wrapped up. Well, it's not been wrapped up because we've now met the Joker. Yes, he's in it, yes. The Riddler's incarcerated in Arkham. Everything seems to be okay. Well, it's not okay because Gotham's been flooded and the criminal elements zoomed in. There's martial law there and all sorts. So it's paving the way for another movie of, oh God, I've got to try and clean this mess up. But it's only going to create more bad guys and more of these arch villains. And it's a nice way of doing it as well. I like it. But despite all their adventures and rather embittered, enrivaled, and yet totally in love with each other relationship between Batman and Catwoman, she's bugging out, she's leaving. She's killed her father. No, she hasn't. Sorry, no, she hasn't killed her father. The Riddler killed her father. Her father, played by John Turturro, is Carmine Falcone. Yeah. Now, I know some people have been going like, that's not right. No, it actually is. It's in a lot of different comic book versions that she is the daughter of Carmine Falcone. It has been there in a lot of these things, especially the things that Matt Reeves drew on for this movie from the comic books. So, can't knock that. And I like the way it's done in the movie as well. So, but the Riddler's killed Carmine Falcone when she was going to do it, but Batman stopped her. Okay, so, spoilers and all that. But at the end of the movie, you have this terrific sequence, which I found it absolutely heartbreaking. So I've seen it twice now, and the first time it blew me away. The second time I was kind of prepared for it, and it hurt me all the more. And my chin was going, and it was just my daughter was sitting there, and I know she was looking at me, sort of like, you're going, aren't you? And I was. I was going. And then at the cemetery, at the tomb, the mausoleum for Martha and Thomas Wayne. And they're both on their bikes, they're both in their costumes. But Selina's going to go west, well, north, she's going upstate. And he's saying, like, stay. Saying, you want me to stay here? You know it's only going to get worse. There's going to be a power grab. It's going to get bloody. This city won't change. You know it can't change. We all know it can't change. But as Batman says, and it's wonderful that he does it. He just says, like, look, I've got to try. I've got to try to make it change. That's why I exist. I'm adding words here. We know why he's there. He can't just leave. He can't just bug out and have a happy life. He's got a crusade. That's not going to end. So the two of them sort of say their farewells, and she rides off on her bike. And it's filmed in the Necropolis Cemetery in Glasgow. And she rides out. He gets on his bike. He rides out. And in a beautiful, lovely shot, the two of them race together down one of these great big driveways in the cemetery. And one gets ahead, then the other one gets ahead, then they go together and they reach a point, a crossroads, and she will go off one direction, he'll go off in the other with his cape billowing behind him. But in a absolutely, truly wonderful moment, he looks in the rear view and he watches her, and he's just riding there, just Pattinson's face, just, the eyes, the cowl, and just the stoic mouth and the chin. I mean, I've got a chubby face, so I can't even hope to emulate that. But and he just watches it, and she just goes over her eyes and into the haze, and she's gone. And then he just literally, just as he's riding, he's been watching, and it just shifts his eyes and looks ahead, and it builds to like this spectral sort of climax. I'm going to play it for you now. This is All's Well That Ends Farewell. Now, you listen to this. This is one of those powerful, emotive, haunting, tragic themes I've heard in many years. That fragility. You can sense so much emotion from both, but they can't say the words. Chime. You've got church bells here. Kiss, and then off she goes, and then they'll race together. Searing strings, the cello. Just so beautiful. And you have heard this throughout the movie in the emotional sequences. He's watching as she disappears in the rear view. And this is how it ends. He turns the face forward. That is truly gorgeous, that. Right. Now we come into the Batman. This is the Batman suite. So this is the full Batman theme. And what it does, cleverly, it incorporates the gongs. Eastern gongs there as well. Is that alluding to his training in the Far East? But it'll bring in the theme we just heard, because that's part of Batman's theme, the tragedy of his life. But what this does, it rises to a more heroic sort of level, and then it will go into the 4-note theme, the 4-note motif that we now know and love and are totally and utterly brainwashed by. There's so much good stuff in this score. We'll come on to more. It's very classical, that very, old school with the cellos and just, more of a sweep. It's more heroic. It's bolder, but it's still tinged. And scarred. She says to him, "Why'd you wear that mask? Are you hideously scarred underneath there?" He just goes, all the best heroic themes, the best ones, have this alter ego. And in a film, a story about a character who's a duality, he wears a mask and he's one character, but outside the mask he's somebody else. I know in this film, Bruce Wayne hasn't reached the Bruce Wayne level of philanthropy and playboy sort of superstar, but in the end of this film he begins to realise, I can actually change. I can be Bruce Wayne and still do stuff, to help the city, as well as ridding crime as Batman. But in all the best heroic themes, there's an alter ego. There's the tragic side and the heroic side. To be a hero, you've got to have come from something. You've got to have a pain. You've got to fight back because of something, an injustice. That's where true heroes come from. They've been hurt and they find the resilience to come back. Now listen, so you've had that theme. And this begins gently, and man does it build. Can you hear? There's gongs, there's Celeste, there's vibraphone. Waterphone, I think, as well. Yeah, we're going to go there. It is so incredibly simplistic, yet so spectacularly engrossing and, energizing. rousing. With the chimes as well, it gives it a whole new dimension. It's building. It's just like, oh yeah. It goes on. Yeah, he doesn't drive this. What he drives is awesome as well. I love that as well. You've had the crescendo, the finale, and it just tails off hauntingly. Like the storm hit you, and then it's receding. It's just gone past, you know. Right, now, the 4 notes. Dun, 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 dun. Right, we're going to get the Riddler now. This is the Riddler's theme. Now, right up from the front, I'm going to say, this is based on Schubert's Ave Maria. A favourite of funerals and weddings. It can fit any occasion. One of the greatest classical pieces of music, classical pop songs you could call it, and it's truly, truly majestic and gorgeous, and it plays a huge part in this movie. So there's no surprise that in the Riddler's theme, it's sort of semi-incorporated. I know you're going like, I can't hear Ave Maria. Well, actually you can if you listen to it. If I shut up for a couple of minutes, you'll hear it. Four notes. Do, 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 do. Another 4 notes there. The 4-note motif is a very strong signature. Minor, major, slow, fast, whatever. It's a hugely strong structure musically. And as I say, you've got Batman's 4-note motif. And although it's a much different style, it's a 4-note motif for the Riddler. And a 4-note motif for the Catwoman as well, as we'll discover. Different again. It reaches a tower, doesn't it? Kind of nowhere, and that softness, that gentle eloquence, it just goes woof. I think there's hints of Elliot Goldenthal and his score from Batman Forever, which was Jim Carrey as the Riddler. There's elements of it there, which I think he's done on purpose. It's high, it's stratospheric, and it staggers down, and then spirals down. Isn't it beautiful? I know, some of you out there going like, I can't quite hear this Ave Maria thing you're going on about. It is there. If you listen to Ave Maria, I'm not going to do it like Christ. As if I'm going to do that justice. But listen to Ave Maria. You have to listen to that. You can hear there is an element there which creeps in, which I think is wonderfully well done. Delicious, dark, sinuous, creepy. It's definitely creepy. And that sudden, whoa, up to the towers and insanity and rage, because that's what Paul Dano does as the Riddler. He has these huge, when he's in the costume, which is very hushed, it's the hushed costume he's wearing as the Riddler. It's not no fucking question. Well, there is question marks, but it's not like Jim Carrey or the guy from the old Adam West things. I forgot his name now. In the skin tight lycra, not a good look. Never a good look. It's not like that. It's a ramshackle sort of combat gear thing, gas mask sort of goggles on and all this, cowl, and very hush like. But when he goes off on one, when you see him in his little video clips where he's torturing somebody, he's about to kill somebody, and he rages at the screen, and then his big confrontation with Batman in the interrogation. Well, it's hardly an interrogation room, but this is Catwoman's theme. But we'll get on to this. Let it play. We'll get into the 4-note thing and how this one works. But his rage, and Bruce Wayne. He's fabulous at doing all this. It's very Silence of the Lambs, very Seven, very Zodiac. Of course it is, but but these original Batman stories were. A lot of the best Batman stories were like that even before you saw Zodiac and Seven, and Silence of the Lambs. So, it was there first with the Caped Crusader. Right, here we go. This is Catwoman's theme. Again, sinuous, feline. Do 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 do. 4 notes. It's a 4-note motif again. There's no way on earth that he's not done that deliberately, Michael Giacchino. I applaud him for it. He's linked his main characters via this musical signature. Now this is a huge departure, of course, from the other themes. The sizzling weirdness of the Riddler, the tragedy, the haunted tragedy and forlorn, beleaguered, persecuted heroism of Batman, and the indomitable spirit of I'm bigger and stronger, faster and more brutal than you. Once I've got my costume on, because I'm pretty shit without it, because Pattinson's he's not built up really. Now, don't any of you girls, that includes my daughter, go sweet, oh no, his back's lovely, he's not built up like Christian Bale. He's not built up like anyone. But the suit is what does it. Very John Barry, very Bondian, isn't it? I like that as well. I don't know if that's deliberate, the John Barry sort of James Bond angle, but it seriously has got that vibe. It's lovely. It strikes a necessarily different tone to all else that you hear in this score. I think it's truly wonderful. And now we're going to kick some ass. Oh well. in a second. This is Sonata in Darkness. This plays over the end credits. See, even that, and it's gentle, minimalistic piano. Still, are you getting that? God, really? That's even more powerful. Gotta applaud. Gently. A guy that's come up with this standard of music, this depth of emotion for what is just a superhero movie. There's me just saying just a superhero movie. The best ones are not just that. Superman the movie, come on now. The Dark Knight. These things go way, way beyond just comic book stuff. And this does as well. I wonder who's playing this piano. I'll have to look into this, because that's exquisite. Isn't it just so sincere and heartbreaking? Hear that? By the way, I'm here too. Doom, 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 doom. Down those lower end keys, you know. Yeah, it's just gorgeous, isn't it? This will go through a few detours, a few variations, and other themes are going to creep into this. But it goes on for another, 8 minutes. So I'm going to go on to something else now. I'm going to go on to, and this is the Batmobile. I've yet to do my homework and find out what that vehicle really is. It looks like a V8 Interceptor from Mad Max crossed with a Mustang. I don't know. A Trans Am. I don't know what it is. But it's got a big turbo boost, bloody blue sparking engine on the back of it. And when he goes after the Penguin, Colin Farrell, I do wish the Penguin had took a henchman with him in that car. I'll explain why. Because we're going to go through this sequence now. A buyout has gone wrong. Catwoman's got involved. Jim Gordon's there, Jeffrey Wright. Machine guns are let loose. A stool pigeon's going to get caught. Penguin's going to get into a car, blast off. Once he sees that there's a car sitting there at the side of this warehouse, and the lights come on and it begins to rev and lurches forward. And then the chase will begin. It's the Batmobile roaring after him. And I do love this car chase. I've heard a lot of people saying it could have gone on for longer, and I know it could. But they go up onto the motorway, the freeway, and I think they filmed it not far from here. And they're hurtling into oncoming traffic before they get into the right lanes, and there's all trucks and everything there. The Penguin will fire machine guns at the driver's side window. The Batmobile, but it's bulletproof, obviously, Penguin proof. The anvil. You get lots of cars spinning stuff like, and a drive style silence roll over the vehicle. Penguins here. It's a percussion. Smashing into other vehicles. Big trucks coming in close to almost crush Batmobile. Searing level as well. Speed's gaining. You're gonna have these big petrol trucks overturning, hitting each other, other vehicles colliding. Carnage on the freeway. And then a big conflagration. And the Penguin like looking at in his rearview mirror, and you see his face, he's like, "Ha, I got you, you freak, I got you." Batman's seen as the explosion roars up, part of the trucks come loose, and you can go up. And he comes hurtling out, a flaming, roaring fireball right up the arse of the Penguin. How's that? Just fucking butts him. And that drive style. And what I love about the end of that sequence is that Penguin's car's over, it's upside down, he's hanging up there, and he just sees, you know, Batmobile just stops, Batman gets out, and you're on an odd angle, and Batman just walks slowly up to him, and then just like comes down and leans in. But what I genuinely wish that happened, there was another henchman in that car who gets out, and from Penguin's point of view, you'd see this guy, you'd hear, and the guy get put on the deck, and then Batman leans down. I'd love that. Okay, what else can we go to here? Because I'm enjoying this now. So, it's a nice one. It's a nice build-up. Catwoman, Selina Kyle, has realised, well, she knows that her father's now behind it all. The death of her friend. He's the unwritten mayor of Gotham. You know, he's the guy in charge. He's got most of the police on his payroll. She's now going to go and take him out. Batman realises, I've got to go and stop this. Christ. But I also know that he's the guy that possibly put the hit on me mum and dad and all of that. So they go to the club, which you see a lot in the movie. Batman goes in there. She's already infiltrated. And she's going to put a bullet in her dad's brain. Listen to this. Batman's going to break in there as well and take out a bunch of henchmen in a corridor in a terrific sequence, which was filmed all in darkness. And all you see, all the bits lit up is machine gun fire, muzzle flash for machine guns, and you see in those little staccato strobe-like effects, you're gonna see Batman putting elbows in, putting their butts in, lifting people around, swinging them around, snap seconds of him, you know, kicking all sorts of ass. But her murder attempt fails because her own dad manages to like put a pool cue across her head and then knock her flat, and he's trying to strangle her with that, crush her throat, and she manages to scratch his face. She's a cat. And he begins to like throttle her. That's how he's killed other people, by strangling them. We've learnt this throughout the movie. But listen to this. Giacchino brings up this. Folks, this is a terrific score. The themes I've been playing for you do infiltrate so many other tracks, and in different ways and in different styles. So it anchors you to whoever you're actually following at the time, and yet they will mesh, they will come together. It's beautiful. This is Batman coming down the corridor, taking all these guys out. Strobe effect from the machine gun fire. See how this 4-note motif becomes so powerful. No pantomime, it's just fuck off. Right in there. Okay. And then we're going to go into a track called Hoarding School. And this is where... You've got Batman's theme and you've got the Riddler's theme will coalesce, conjoin, and then, you know, multiple horrors will come from within. See, that's a more gentle, subdued, more resonant version of the Batman theme, action theme. But what's creeping in here is the Riddler's theme, sliding, snake-like, like a question mark. And you got this, which is a subverted version of Ave Maria. It is. That's clearly, the more you listen to it, the more you'll pick it up, especially when you watch the movie itself. Because Ave Maria does not exist on the soundtrack, but when you hear it in the movie, the similarity is definitely there. But it's done like more slowly, more painfully drawn out. a knife blade against the bone. Two things. And it works, it works. It's like seesawing. Okay, I'm going to go on to a different bit now, because I'm really enjoying this. Okay, this is during a big action-packed finale. Multiple hitmen dressed Hush style or Riddler style are going to try and take out what's going to be the new mayor during a massive flood. The big sea walls have been blown apart by the Riddler. Gotham is now under a tsunami. Yeah, it's big. It's big. They're all up in the rafters. You know, it's called Bat in the Rafters. They're all trying to take out the mayor. But all of a sudden, like, the Bat will come in and start fucking beating the shit out of these guys. But there's an exquisite action motif in this. Does this not sound like the Medusa touch? I've done a big video on that movie and that music. There's an element there of the Medusa touch. Folks, I've just looked at the time and I've realised we haven't eaten our tea yet. And it's time to eat. And I've let this go on for way too long. But now what the hell? Yeah, we're gonna go on to... screw it. We're gonna end on... Yeah. Because this is the thing that I take away from this movie now. Way more than the bum, 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 bum. It's this. So anyone that goes like, oh, what, this theme is just but 4 notes and it's just the same thing. Although I'll defy anyone to actually complain about it because the way it's played is magnificent. And then you hear this. This is Batman's theme here, now. This. I'll go again now. But it's because I'm weak with hunger, you understand. Pattinson does this so well, you know. You can see a wall of emotion behind the stoicism. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you put that across. Your eyes convey so much. And just him on the bike and looking in the rear view, and seeing her disappear, and you know his heart's broken, and he just looks ahead. Michael Giacchino. Fantastic score. Absolutely fantastic score. And there's more in it, but I think we've covered all the main elements. Let's see if we're going to leave it at that. Let's let this build up. Let's take it to the hour. You can do that. Just a few minutes. Family's starving. The dog's here right now. Dog's lying beside me. She's starving as well. In fact, I can feed her now. Oh. Apparently I'm paying for the shopping as well. Just gotta feed the dog. Roxy. Whiskey. If it's nice and cheap, get the whiskey. I need it. And some meat. Chicken. Sorry, put my order in. You'll hear a dog chomping away now, but it is awesome. I will do the big full spoiler review very soon. See, I've seen it twice now. Well, I've discussed so much of it already, you know. But I'm talking more about it. I think if there's other people on YouTube who can discuss Halloween kills in every single video, and have done for the last 2-3 years. That's a husky chomping down there. And that's a piece of shit. I can talk about an absolutely top class movie which epitomises the Batman, the Batman that I love most of all, the detective Batman that still kicks every shade of ass you can imagine. That's the dog picking up the tin and now stalking off to go and lick the remnants from within inside the tin. If they can discuss Halloween Kills, which is a turd of the film, and then Halloween Ends, which I've no doubt will be another turd of a film, although fingers crossed, but I've not enjoyed any of these ones so far, these new ones. So, and yet they can discuss these things, finite, oh, every little photo that comes in. And I ignored the making of this movie, and I love Batman so much, and I deliberately stayed away from it Well, now I'm making amends. Now I can discuss it. There's far more involved in this movie than in 20 Halloween films. And you know it, folks. You know it. A lot more has gone into this. And even though I love John Carpenter and his scores, his score for Halloween Kills, I don't know why I'm doing this as a bit of a bashing. I'm not. I don't mean to do that. But there's so much more here. So I'm trying to legitimize the fact that I'm going to probably go to town on this, whereas I've went to town on various Halloween things and then got burned. Didn't like it. I thought, I'm never doing that again. Well, now I've found a film which actually does warrant the extra service, the extra sort of investigation and sort of unravelling. It's this. Matt Reeves' The Batman is an outstanding movie, I think. Plenty of action, plenty of suspense, lots of deep unravelling and crazy satanic evilness and scheming and plotting and revelations. It's all there, folks. So that was a big exploration of Giacchino's score for The Batman. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you saw all the points I was trying to raise. The Riddler has the Ave Maria seeping into it. It's like he's been tainted by it in his past. He's heard this thing, because you hear it in the movie a lot, and it means a lot to him. It's played a huge part in his upbringing. So it's in his psyche. So his theme would naturally have an element of that coursing through it. Batman's theme, and its tragic, heroic, noble, heartbreaking side. Oh, Jesus. I've said enough. Catwoman's sinuous feline, delicacy is outstanding, and the action motifs are extraordinary. But there's so much more as well. It's 115 minutes, the score, and there's more in the movie, obviously. It's on for 3 hours, so and you've got that gorgeous sonata. Get the soundtrack, listen to it, enjoy it, let it seep into your bones. It's wonderful stuff. So, folks, I have been, always shall be, a creature of the night, and, a figure of vengeance. Oh, no, sorry, a figure of fun. Please, in the meantime, in this ever crazy new world, yet we still love movies and we can still escape into fantasy land despite all the real life shit that's going on in between time. Please keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic, and I am going to see you all. Namaste. Laters. You got, what is it? Is it a seagull with wings, a rat with wings, a falcon has wings, a penguin has wings, a fucking bat has wings? It's the most obvious thing of all.